Vanessa! I still can't believe what you did. I know it was you who took my necklace. How on earth could you do that? You can't possibly believe that's okay, can you?
Oh, shut up! I'm your mother-in-law, and I have every right to do what I think is right.
What? You think you can just steal from me? Why do you hate me so much?
You understand exactly why that is. I spoke with Mark already. He already knows you're flirting with another man.
What? What kind of gossip is this? There's absolutely zero truth in this.
I can't wait to see how you start making excuses.
I have nothing to justify. My conscience is clear. Before making such claims, you must have proof.
It's irrelevant. Mark has faith in me and intends to end the engagement. Before long, he will be liberated from any connection with you. Therefore, please refrain from attending the wedding tomorrow. Even if you choose to come, you will find no support from anyone. I have taken care of that matter.
Why on earth are you talking about that? What exactly do you mean by ending the relationship? Up until a few days ago, everything was going well. There were no problems. What's the matter with you? I'm madly in love with Mark. Our future together is something we're excited about. Why should something suddenly change now? I completely lack comprehension. I'm not sure what I did to merit it.
Prior to yesterday, everything was going well for me as well. However, I later learned about you. Therefore, you are solely to blame. You never told me the truth. You did conceal the fact that you resided in a home for misbehaving children, correct? Therefore, you deserve everything that comes your way.
Just give me a second. I never kept that a secret. I'm certain I informed Mark a while back, so he's been aware of it for ages. He had absolutely no issue with it. I'm certain he must have told you the same.
He didn't tell me because he assumed I might be worried about it. That's what he told me later. He is a thoughtful young man. But later, I learned about it from another source. Honestly, I was completely taken aback. You are practically a criminal. You can't justify yourself at this point.
Do you think this is an excuse to attack me? Just because I grew up in a foster home? A reasonable person would not do that if they knew this information. You are a criminal in reality.
I advise you to mind your language, you little troublemaker. I have never engaged in any criminal activity throughout my entire life.
This is coming from the person who has stolen my things many times before. At first, I couldn't find my earrings for a month until I accidentally saw them on one of your friends. Do you think that's normal? This is absurd. No one has the right to take my things without permission.
I guess you have a point there. It wasn't right of you to deceive me, was it? That alone is reason enough for me.
I didn't deceive you. Listen, I understand if you have any reservations about my upbringing. I've dealt with that criticism from people my whole life. If I didn't take it into mind sufficiently, I apologize.
It's past the point of no return. I won't tolerate your dishonesty. Naturally, after discussing everything with Mark, it was clear that I had to take that action. Mark concurs that postponing the wedding is the wisest course of action in light of this. I couldn't allow him to continue with such a nasty spouse.
I know that Mark could only have agreed to this because you've lied to him. What kind of person would do that? You truly are an awful person.
In my place, any rational mother would do the same. In any case, you are not required to arrive tomorrow. I'll tell everyone that you cheated on my son and fled with another man if you still show up. The wedding will be terrible, even if you manage to con Mark into attending. I guarantee you that. Mark my words.
Just stop it now. Do you realize how many people you might offend by acting in that way? I wouldn't be the only one. Mark would also find it difficult. Actually, it would sabotage the entire wedding ceremony.
And that's great.
Huh? You want to embarrass your own son on his wedding day? Is that your point?
Oh, so that's your perspective, huh? As I've been repeatedly saying, your presence is not required. Clearly, there's still a significant misunderstanding on your part. As long as you're absent from the wedding, we can continue with all the arrangements smoothly. If you genuinely don't want to create any issues for Mark, then it's best for you to stay out of this, just as I've been advising you.
How will the wedding actually go on without the bride?
I've considered it, so don't worry. You know, there's this friend of Mark's who claims she has always dreamed of marrying him.
What is this nonsense?
She is the adorable bride of a respectable family, unlike you. Therefore, a new bride will be there on the big day to surprise everyone.
I'm sure Mark doesn't even know about it. Doesn't it seem ridiculous to you?
Oh, so you believe it's impossible, do you? The bride's family happens to be incredibly affluent, and they have a close relationship with the owner of the wedding venue. They've already made all the necessary arrangements.
This is just unbelievable.
She is exactly the right person for Mark.
No one will ever accept this.
Everyone is definitely going to do it. I can't believe that thanks to me, Mark will be the happiest. I'm telling you, sweetheart, coming here is futile. Make no effort. If you arrive and attempt to ruin the event, I'll have security eject you immediately. Additionally, I've already told the venue not to let any of your guests in. So believe me when I say that nobody at this wedding will care about the change of bride.
I have to say, I've never met anyone like you before. So Mark is stating that calling off the engagement is okay? I just want to be sure of that.
Don't make me say the same thing twice. I'm a busy person, and I don't have time for meaningless chatter.
Well, I wish you good luck.
I appreciate your understanding. You catch on faster than I anticipated, which is quite helpful. It seems you possess a sharp intellect despite your upbringing in a foster home. And naturally, you won't mention anything about the necklace, right?
Why do you think so?
If you talk about it, you'll forget your name. I'll ruin your life. After all, you shouldn't have thought you were worthy of my son, so it's your fault.
I can't believe you're saying that.
Additionally, hold back on telling Mark anything I just said to you. The bride's family will not allow this wedding to be spoiled. There is no turning back. They have the ability and contacts to make your life really difficult. Why have I heard that Mark has visited your home? What on earth is he doing there? Don't tell me you told him. How dare you? He's ignoring me now. I should have known you wouldn't go back on your word, you miserable girl. If you mention anything, you'll pay for it!
Vanessa, do you still recall all the items you took from me? Already, I've filed a police report.
What? Why did you do that? I told you not to.
I'm not going to keep that quiet. Why should I? This is a crime. Theft is something that's punishable by law. And crime deserves punishment. Mark knew immediately that something was wrong.
What does he have to do with this?
Did you honestly believe that Mark would simply buy into your convenient excuse of me running off without questioning it? He immediately got in touch with me. And when he discovered that you had already hired security and made arrangements to prevent my guests from entering, don't you think that raised some suspicion? Do you think Mark is foolish or gullible? Both of us are extremely angry about this entire situation. That much is certain. But on top of that, Mark is feeling deeply offended.
Oh my, everything is crashing down. You're the source of all my problems, you brat girl. What should I do now? The family of the bride I wanted to marry my son ignores me.
Maybe you can ask the police when they're taking you to the station.
What? What do you mean when you mention the police? However, there is no proof. You could just be staging a crime and making everything up. How come the cops should believe you?
You're very attentive for such an old witch. I did a good job when my silver spoons went missing the last time, and then we saw them in your kitchen. I have hidden cameras all over the house. I only put them on because of you.
You're joking. Do you really have cameras? Who installs cameras in the house anyway? It's crazy!
All my friends have cameras, and it's a very convenient thing to punish people like you. Be sure that you will pay for everything you stole according to the law.
You can't do that! I'm Mark's mother! Are you seriously considering turning me into the police? How could you even entertain such a thought? I can't believe you're serious! Claire! Hello there, Claire. It's been a while since we last spoke. I heard you got married without consulting me. Who do you think you are to make such a decision? Because of you, I ended up being arrested and put on trial. I certainly didn't deserve any of that. It's outrageous that such things are even allowed. They sentenced me to probation, and as a result, I lost my job. The cleaning business was my lifeline. And now, on top of everything, you married my son without my consent. How much further are you willing to go to humiliate me? Tell me, where are you now, anyway? I know you've moved out of that old apartment. Answer me now! Don't ignore me! Hey, I recently discovered that you were actually one of the girls Blanca took in. Another instance of deception that you kept hidden from me.
Looks like she's been in touch with you. Yes, it so happened that Blanca was in charge of the orphanage where I was reared. She's adored by many other kids as well for all of her excellent attributes.
Anyway, I certainly did not anticipate receiving a call from her. We went to a charitable organization together.
Yes, Blanca was extra shocked when she found out what you did because she knew you so well back then. She said she didn't recognize your behavior and that you were a completely different person before. I guess you must have really changed since those days.
Oh, I'm sure you made stuff up when you discussed it all. She even expressed disappointment in me. How could she have misinterpreted what took place? How did you manage to put me in this predicament? You have no respect for your elders at all.
I just told her exactly what you did. I see you haven't learned anything in your years of probation.
Well, there's nothing to be done for it now. Anyway, against my better judgment, Blanca talked me into accepting the fact that you married my son. So I'm on my way over to give you my blessing.
What? What the heck is that supposed to mean?
Blanca quickly divulged your address when I just had to become a little emotional on the phone and sobbed that all I wanted to do was apologize to you. She is a wonderful friend, and she is aware of your best interests.
Blanca really told you her new address?
Oh yeah! Who would have imagined you would be in Paris? What an amazing environment to live in. I can't wait to get there.
What? This is some kind of mistake. Vanessa?
Hey, I've just arrived. Where is everyone? Come over here immediately. I need to relax before we head out for a stroll in the city center. I'm quite exhausted, you know. I'm currently in the airport lobby, sitting and waiting for you. Time is running out, so please hurry up. Oh, and once we're done, I'll be interested in sightseeing, so show me the finest spots. I'm sure you're familiar with all of them by now.
It must have been a long trip, but we can't go pick you up. It's simply impossible.
Huh? How can you be so nonchalant about it? I'll be in a difficult situation if you don't come quickly, so please hurry up. I only had enough money to cover my plane ticket to get here. I'm telling you, come pick me up. Just get a move on.
First of all, why are you contacting me? Why didn't you contact your son?
Because he's ignoring my messages. My own son. Can you believe that? How ungrateful of him. So I had no alternative but to get in touch with you. Though it's distasteful, I must admit.
Oh, really? That's all you can say to me? You know, I could block you at any point, and maybe I should have already. Mark has already told me it's fine to ignore anything from you.
And it's the perfect decision to not block me so that you'll know when I arrive. In any case, my buddy Blanca told me where you were residing. No, you couldn't just leave me without a fight. That indicates that she realizes I'm right. Blanca concurs that you should come and make things right with me.
I'm curious about it. It seems like she had a genuine desire to ensure my safety. You see, I informed Blanca that if you were truly displaying signs of remorse, she could disclose our whereabouts to you. We had already anticipated the possibility of you rushing over to see us, so she would have given us a heads up. I was slightly concerned when you contacted me unexpectedly.
What are you going on about? I don't understand what you're saying. This is all getting tedious. Just get over here soon.
Do you still not get it? Don't you see that even your old friend has totally given up on you?
What are you referring to? Absolutely nothing you say is coherent. Come on over right away.
Vanessa, we don't live in Paris.
Don't be stupid. Blanca told me everything.
Yeah, well, we've never even been to Paris.
What are you saying? You're telling me that Blanca lied to me?
That's right.
But Blanca would be the last person to do such a thing.
She does really have a tender heart. She thus frequently displayed sympathy, even when it wasn't in her best interests, and has really been duped several times by people. But she continued to harbor a spirit of generosity in her heart.
That's the kind of gentle person that Blanca is.
And from the time I was in her home, she always told me she wanted me to be a person who could show true gentleness to others, too. That's how she raised me.
So Blanca couldn't possibly have lied to me about this. She's not the type of person to act that way. That's how I can be sure that you are lying. After all, Blanca gave me the money for the ticket.
Yes, she mentioned that you pretended to cry and even pleaded with her for money to come here. However, she saw through your deceit. She expressed deep sadness for not realizing the extent of your transformation. The airfare was given to you by Blanca as a parting gift. Blanca had hoped to provide you with a chance at a different life and eradicate the darkness within you. Ultimately, she stated that you showed no remorse whatsoever, which is why she refused to give you our address.
Huh? What are you saying?
I understand now that Blanca has completely lost hope in your ability to change. She also mentioned how closely connected you were through charitable organizations and beyond. Even if you had genuinely demonstrated remorse, I don't believe she would have disclosed my whereabouts. While you may have been her old friend, she played a pivotal role in raising me. As I mentioned before, many of the children who grew up in her home regard her as a mother figure.
You're saying Blanca likes you more than me?
She has helped raise a lot of kids, including me. You're the kind of person who despises people like me. Well, she spent most of her life defending us. She won't likely give up her entire life's work for people like you, in my opinion.
This is some kind of mistake. You don't really live in Paris?
That's what I told you.
Then what should I do at this point? I had intended to reside here with Mark and you. I no longer have the funds for travel or hotel accommodations. I essentially have nothing.
So, you thought you could fly here without a penny in your pocket?
Well, you must help me. After all, we are a family. Are you there? Claire!
I ended up blocking my mother-in-law, and it was a great decision. Now, I don't have to listen to her impulsive outbursts and insults. I told Blanca to let go of her past and block her too, but she kept in touch with her ex-girlfriend for some time. It was she who told me what happened next. It turns out that Vanessa decided to stay in Paris and start from scratch. At first, she really tried to change and improve herself. Blanca paid for her room and board. Vanessa kept promising to find a job. But all this remained empty promises. All Vanessa really did was party in clubs and restaurants, not taking responsibility for her life at all. After her friend stopped sending her money, Vanessa was unable to climb out of the hole she had buried herself in. I'm a little sorry that Blanca is having such a hard time with the loss of her friend, but I support her by always telling her that life goes on. I want to convey that even if it seems that there's no way out, it only seems that way. We need to appreciate life and enjoy the little things. Only in this way can we live it to the fullest. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe!